So this is officially episode 2 of Scaling ScaleMate, where I share my thoughts, best practices, and what it's like to scale a B2B sales agency in public. So one of the things that I've been thinking about lately is the balance between having a super tight ICP and obviously a very tight service offering versus another market opportunity, and when to make that switch or when to make that expansion. So let's start with the tight ICP. I feel like when I started this agency, I had a very, very niche specific value proposition. And basically from an ICP perspective, it was pre-seed through to Series A, B2B SaaS startups, and specifically the founders or co-founders outside of America looking to expand into America. Very, very specific. There's only a certain number of those people who have been VC funded in the last year or so that exist in the universe to go after. So my thought process was I have a very specific ICP, very specific offering. It's virtually productized right now. It's very, very plug and play. I can keep this there while now expanding to new offers and new ICPs, right? The problem with the first one is it's very tough to scale. It's very hard. I think there's easier ways to scale a business. So I'm exploring those options now. I decided to launch 3 different service offerings in total. And I'll give you a rundown of my thinking behind all of those and the reasons why. So the first one is market validation. That was the original. That is very plug and play, ready to go, very productized, right? So founders looking to expand into America, they don't typically have great insight into the US market. There's a whole bunch of questions they ask themselves around that expansionary journey. And I look to make that easier and sort of de-risk that transition into the US, which typically represents the biggest market opportunity for them from a business perspective. The second one is lead generation done for the client. So completely done for you. We'll define your ICP. We'll build a messaging strategy. We'll look at the channels that are going to work for your business and we'll go to market. That technically doesn't have borders. Obviously works better in English speaking countries. So Australia, in Europe, in India, potentially. That's where it's completely done for you. ICP qualified meetings booked on your calendar consistently. The third offer, and this is the one I'm actually most excited about, is lead generation, but done with you. The difference between done with you and done for you is I focus more on enablement for the done with you service, meaning we build scalable, repeatable revenue engines that basically automate appointment setting and make your SDRs much more efficient with the latest technology, integrations, APIs, all that stuff, right? The done for you service is slightly higher cost, obviously, and then done with you brings the cost down. The benefit of that is the client gets to internalize this expertise. So SOPs, how-to videos, detailed documents of how these systems are set up and how they work, and from sourcing the leads all the way through to booking the meeting. Much lower cost, much lower barrier to entry. So I'm actually very, very excited about that offer. And I've already received some very, very positive leading indicators on that. So 3 main offers: market validation. You get our expertise in defining a go-to-market strategy, the analysis, booking the calls, running the meetings, putting everything together into a 6 to 18 month sales strategy. Done for you, lead generation, lower cost, just booking the appointments on the calendar, no discovery done by us, but we set up all the systems and book the appointments for you. Then we hand it over to the client. Done with you is partnership. So we help you to scale up these and build these systems that can handle 10, 20,000 leads a month, and then train your staff, provide the documentation, provide the how-to videos on how to use everything, and use our expertise to scale up your revenue engines. So that's a little bit about offers. Very excited. The done with you stuff is a much more scalable business, I think, especially once you get, significant volume of clients, then there's a community aspect, et cetera, et cetera. So very excited about that. Another thing I've been thinking about is expanding our outreach channels. Right now, I've built the business on 2 main channels: email, LinkedIn, and I guess warm network can count as a third channel, and referrals and things. So I'm going to go back to the tried and true tested method of cold calling. So luckily I have a ticket price that justifies a commission only rep, and I can pay them, a significant amount of money. So cold calling is another channel I've obviously done in the past myself, and I've built teams around cold calling. I just haven't needed to do it yet for this business. So in order to get that next lever of growth and get to our next stage, cold calling is going to be a huge part of that, particularly in the US founders, similar ICP, probably going up to Series B and beyond companies versus seed through to Series A as well. So very excited about that channel. Going to be using probably a power dialer just to increase efficiency. I've heard Nooks is the best one. So going to look into those and expand that way as well. In the world of AI and automation and everything, I am a little bit concerned about the efficacy of calls. Like when I get phone calls, on my phone and my personal phone and my business phone, I rarely answer them. I do sometimes just to see, but it's not often I get a cold call that is relevant. I'll get insurance and things that I've already taken care of. So I'm interested to see how effective cold calling is these days, particularly in the US. I haven't done that for quite some time, so it'll be very an interesting journey.